Some players dominate games with pace, power or flair. Pascal Gross does it with intelligence. For years, the German midfielder has quietly been one of the most influential players for Brighton, dictating tempo, creating chances and constantly finding space others can't see. His return to the club in January has also been a huge factor in Brighton's recent resurgence, helping them drive a run of 5 wins in 6 games as they push for European qualification in the Premier League. In this video, I'm breaking down what makes Pascal Gross so effective, from his elite passing and positioning to his tactical intelligence that has made him such a key figure in Brighton's recent rise. Welcome back to the Louis Selling YouTube channel. I am back once again, and in today's video we're going to be talking about my favourite player of all time and one of Brighton's best players of all time, and a man that I have tattooed on the back of my calf. Of course, it is the Kaiser, Pascal Gross. And when I say one of Brighton's greatest players of all time, he is at the top in all of these attacking stats. For chances created, he has created 532, which puts him ahead of Solly March, who is in second with 213, so more than double. For goal contributions, Pascal Gross is also top with 78, ahead of Danny Welbeck in second, who has 56, so a 22 difference there. For big chances created, Pascal Gross has 75. Solly March is second again with 37, so a big gap there once again. And for assists, of course, it is the German, top with 47, ahead of Solly March once again, who has just 18. So without Pascal Gross, Brighton would be nowhere near where they are now, and they definitely wouldn't have had a season in the Europa League. He has been so influential for them staying up in the Premier League to them now fighting for European football and securing European football a few seasons ago. As I said, in this video, we're going to be talking about Pascal Gross, specifically his return to the club and his 3 goal contributions so far in his 13 or so games this year. 2 assists and 1 goal that have been massive in securing 7 points along the way. So, without further ado, let's jump straight over to the media drawer. So, the first of Gross's goal contributions was a goal against Everton in a 1-1 draw. It did open the scoring, but Beto went on to score a added time equaliser literally in the last seconds of the game. But the German's goal was a huge moment for the club and the fans. Van Hecker is the player on the ball here. Pascal Gross is playing the 10 and he's not in your picture just yet, but he is picking up a position that is just between the centre backs and then just between the centre back and the midfielder, picking up that pocket of space that no one else picks up. Van Hecker plays a pass in here, really nice progressive pass to Yassin Ayari, and Gross is still not in the picture here, but you can imagine where he's standing just in here in that pocket. Flick it over. There he is. Ayari receives the ball and Gross holds his run. So he's in that space. He knows if there is a cutback played, he is in an ideal position to get a shot away or get a touch, then a shot or a touch, then a pass or something like that to try and create a chance or make something happen. Babis Kostelas peels away and makes this run to the near post. Gross again takes a few steps forward but maintains that position of splitting the 2 centre-backs just behind Tarkowski, who is having to pick up Kostelas, and then just in front of O'Brien, so there's enough gap so he can't close him down and get a block or get a tackle in. Yari in here plays a really nice cutback just along the edge of the box, which is something Fabian Hürzeler has implemented a lot this season, but particularly since Gross's return. It hasn't been the ideal end product for Brighton, but it's definitely something that is being worked on that has been apparent and improved in recent games. Babis Kostelas is the player at the near post, a young striker who has scored 2 goals this season and not had too many minutes. So Gross is expecting him to try and get a shot away at this near post in this situation here. Just fire it in there as every young striker would do, but he knows the best outcome is if Kostelas dummies it and allows Gross to get that shot away from the penalty spot in all the space that he is. Really clever from Kostelas. He does dummy it. I'm sure Gross gives him that shout and now the boys rolling towards him in this situation here. This position, O'Brien is far enough away, closing him down, that Gross has that split second to get his shot away. Flick it over to the next one, boys rolling into him, and what would you expect him to do? Just try and fire a shot into this near post in that bigger angle, just to try and beat Pickford with power. He continues to shape like that in here. It still looks like from that leg position, bent left leg, really extended right leg, he's going to try and power it in here. But at the last second, he snaps the shot into this bottom corner. If we zoom in here, he straightens that left leg and then brings that right leg back to a sort of a lesser angle, a sharper angle, just to try and pick out that bottom corner. O'Brien is far enough away that he can't get a block in, and that is from Gross's positioning, splitting the two centre-backs and not being too close to that midfielder. Gives him just that split second, as I said, to fire that ball into the bottom corner and wheel away in celebration in front of the North Stand and send them into absolute chaos. Really, really good goal there. Two intelligent players, Kostelas and Pascal Gross combining. Babis is a player that I'm going to talk about a lot over the summer in the coming months, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. But Pascal Gross is going to have so much impact on him and how he plays the game and how he learns the game as a younger player. If we flick over to this next one, this is his assist against Nottingham Forest. He is actually the centre mid in this game, but he is this player in here, and Jack Hinchwood, who should be the 10, is dropping in here. And this is something Herzler has implemented as well. These player rotations, allowing players a bit more freedom to pick up the positions that they wouldn't expect it to be and rotate. Ferdy Kadioglu, we'll see in a minute, takes up a midfield position, and then Pascal Gross takes up that left-back position. This has only been possible because of Gross's return, a player with high intelligence who knows those positions that he can and can't pick up and where he's going to be most effective. Van Hecker again starts to move the player on the ball here. Not much can be done here, but he goes long over the top to Diego Gomez. If you want to see Gomez's role in this in a bit more detail, go and check out the video I did on him a few weeks ago. It's a really fun watch, and it was a really cool video to make. Gross is picking up a very similar position to the Everton goal, but slightly further out, slightly deeper. He's splitting the centre-backs far away from that midfielder to pick up that pocket of space where no one can really mark him, and if the ball comes to him, he can make something happen. Gomez cuts the ball back to Danny Welbeck, who then tries to cut the ball back to Pascal Gross on the edge of the box, who is now in all of that space where he can take a touch, get a shot away, or take a touch to drive forward into the box, then get a shot away, or even play a sweet reverse pass into Kario Matoma. So from being in this open position, picking up this space in zone 14, a big part of Fabian Herzler's style of play, it means that he can make 4 or 5 things happen. The pass gets blocked from Danny Welbeck and it is headed away from Nico Williams. Remember, Hinshelwood and Gross are the centre mid and number 10 in these respective areas. So Brighton are really high in this situation. So it's slightly dangerous if Nottingham Forest do get a counter-attack away. But Gross recognises that danger, he realises that danger, and he immediately reacts quickly to get in the way of Singare and block that counter-attack. He's not the fastest player, so his reaction time and his intelligence really does counteract that and makes up for that con of his lack of speed, which you wouldn't really notice when you watch him play. Gross reacts, and now in this position he is favourite to win this ball, but you'd either expect him to play a nice pass, little pass back into Jack Hinshelwood, or try and take a touch, play it into Matoma, or try and ping it back to the left back Kadioglu in here, which is what many players do, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the reason that Brighton have been scoring more goals recently and creating more chances is the intelligence and creativity of Gross. He goes with the instep of his right foot and plays a dinked pass over into Diego Gomez. He has had a look here in this example. He knows that Gomez is in there, so he knows that he can just put a ball in there, and it is really dangerous for Nottingham Forest. The ball is in the box, Gomez can get a touch and a cross, a touch and a shot across, anything can happen from the next situation. Really nice dink pass from Gross, as I said, and it ends up in this position, perfectly pops up for Diego Gomez to get a strike away, but Gross doesn't stop and admire his pass. He is this player in here. He continues his run in to the box, so if it is blocked, it is deflected, he can get that tap in in the edge of the box at that near post if something does happen. A really, really nice assist, a really, really creative assist, something that Brighton were lacking in that one win in 14-15 games while Gross wasn't at the club in that November, December, start of January period where Gross was still adapting to Fabian Hurst's playstyle, but he is now slotted straight back in and has been the best player in all of these games, particularly this one against Burnley. It wasn't a high quality game at all. Brighton did win 2-0, but it was clear that Gross was the best player on the pitch. This first bit of the move highlights his leadership and how he is dictating play. Pascal is on the ball, and if you look at Gross, he is telling him to play that pass down the line into him or Yankuba Minte, because Minte on this left-hand side has been fantastic recently with his end product. Get that ball to him and he will put some really, really dangerous crosses in, and Pascal knows that. Ball doesn't go, so now he calls for it in this pocket of space. Again, he's the centre mid. You'd probably expect him to be in areas here or here alongside or just in front of Yasin Ayari. Kadioglu is the left back, which again is another position you'd expect that centre mid in. This is where the player rotations come into. They swap, they confuse their markers, and then it allows for some really, really nice patterns and movement. Call for the ball from Pascal. Again, it doesn't come. He takes a touch, so Gross then tells him to pass it into Yankuba Minte. The gap has been opened from Gross's movement as well, coming narrower, Kadioglu coming slightly wider to create just a few yards between them, which crowds that area of the pitch, means the right back has to come in, the midfielder has to come in, the right winger has to either come in to block these two, or if he tries to go wider to block Minte, it opens up that passage for a pass to Gross or Kadioglu. So Gross dictating the play shouldn't really be a surprise. The ball is passed into Yankuba Minte, and you can see that Gross is immediately turning and knowing where he wants that ball, pushing off that back foot to turn. Yankuba Minte receives the ball. He is picking up the left-back position. As I said, you'd expect an underlapping movement from Kadioglu in here, which he is starting to do in here, but he notices and he is told by Gross to just pick up this narrow position, so if nothing is on, he has that easy pass back, and it stops Brighton losing the ball and Burnley going on a really, really dangerous counter-attack, which they were really good at in this game. Gross continues his run into this pocket of space, which has been opened by him, coming narrower and coming wider at the same time. That movement, come narrow to go wide, wide to go short, short to go long, everything like that. That intelligent movement opens up this pocket of space, and then Yankuba Minte can pop a really, really nice ball into him. As it comes into him, he takes a look up as he receives it, and he can see there isn't too much going on in the box for Brighton. There is only Welbeck and Hinchwood in the box at this moment of time. Ball comes to him here, he takes a touch, he has another look up, and still it is only Welbeck and Jack Hinchwood in the box. But he can see and he knows that Diego Gomez and Matt Sweefer are going to be arriving at that back post. Those late runners into the box for that cutback. I mentioned Fabian Hurst has been banging those cutbacks in the last few games, and it hasn't come off before for Brighton, but now it has in this game a couple of times. Gross plays a pass in here. He makes it look like a cross that he's going to try and dink into Welbeck or Hinchwood. Still, there is only 2 players or 3 players in the box now with Kadioglu. Weefer is just rising. But Pascal Gross decides to play a cutback, as I said, into this area in here. And if you've ever received the ball on your left foot or on your right foot as a winger out wide, you know how difficult this pass is. He has one pocket of space where there is one player arriving where he can get it, and he picks it out absolutely perfect, plays it along here. It has to be perfect, otherwise it is intercepted by these 2 Burnley players in here. Puts it on the penalty spot in the danger area. Matt Sweefer arrives and he gets a lovely strike off into the bottom corner on the stroke of half time to open the scoring. So in that one move, you've seen Pascal Gross's leadership, his intelligence, his ability to move players around the pitch, that rotation, and of course his passing ability to have a look, his vision to pick out that one player who is in that one pocket of space in the box. Pascal Gross is a genius. So, looking at those 3 clips and his numbers for Brighton all-time in the Premier League, I don't think it is unfair to say that he is Brighton's best ever Premier League player. All-time, they've had some fantastic players like Peter Ward, but I've never watched him because I'm only 20 years old. But in recent times, in modern times, Gross is by far the best player to ever play at the Amex. But that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching. I really enjoyed making this one. Probably my favourite video I've made so far because it is Pascal Gross. But don't forget to like, subscribe, comment your thoughts on Gross. Do you think Brighton can qualify for Europe? I definitely think they can. And if they do, Gross will have a big impact on that. But thanks for all the support so far. Really appreciated. The Matoma video is on 7,000 views. Absolutely insane. The highest viewed video on the channel. If we can get that one anywhere near that, it would be so appreciated. But you know the outro by now. Do it with me. Adios.